might have noticed that there's less journos on this side of Olympic Park and more over that side. What was your reaction to hearing the Simon good news this morning?
Yeah, I caught it. My wife sent me a text saying that Simon had unfortunately lost his job, and my sympathies go out to him. I hope he's well, him and his family, and it's a challenging role, this one, and it's just it's sad to hear that he's lost his job.
Can you speak to the legacy he leaves at that club? I think he's the only living premiership coach, and just with your battles against him, there's been a few famous ones.
Yeah, well, that's real. Premierships coaches, it's hard to win these things, and then for him to be maybe the only living one, I didn't know that, but he's left a big footprint in that footy club, and hopefully those that are close to him will celebrate that, and the club itself would celebrate that.
It looked like Daicos wasn't out on the track today. How likely is he to get up on?
No, Nick will play. His loads have been managed. We've gradually been doing it more and more throughout the week because his GPS is really high match day, so no, he'll be available. Yep.
Bobby Hill, I didn't see him today. Is everything okay with Bobby?
Gastro, it's a bugger. We'd love to keep him moving. It's just unfortunate. So he may be in doubt. We'll have to see how he goes the next 24 hours, knowing we're only 48 hours from playing. So he'll be in doubt, I think. Fingers crossed.
I feel like illness strikes Collingwood more than any other club. I feel like it happens multiple times a year. And
maybe we're just a bit more transparent. I'm sure it's going on across the country. Maybe we're just a bit more transparent. We don't want anyone coming in the environment that's ill, because one becomes many real quickly. So I don't know. Did you go to other press conferences? Are we just abnormal?
There's a few moving parts with selection, but are you hopeful Jeremy, and then does Billy get the recall as well? Yeah,
Jeremy will definitely play. He got through today well and excited to play. Billy's name will come up into consideration. Yep. I loved his game at the VFL. I really enjoyed that. The week before was about getting minutes. This week was about performance, and he performed well. He'll put some question marks around match committee around his magnet. Yeah.
When you reviewed the game against the Lions, what did you pick out, Craig, in terms of what you can fix up in this, on his short turnaround?
I had a crazy story after the game. I locked my keys in my car and I couldn't get in, so I got locked out at about midnight, and my computer was in the car, which is a good thing. So I couldn't watch the game for 24 hours. So I went home and watched it on KO. So I watched the first half, and it's time to go to bed at half time. We were playing pretty well. So my initial thoughts on seeing us, we did a lot right, and then there's little parts of our game that we're getting feedback around. That we just got to keep tidying up. And I stand here much rather get those lessons learnt now, or the feedback now, than 3 or 4 weeks time we go, oh geez, I didn't know that was part of our game. Oh God, here we are. Now we're fighting for our lives. For want of a better term. But I think we did a lot right, and lots of little things to tidy up.
What parts of your game have the teams sort of taken away from you in the last few weeks?
Well, there's fractional little things. You'd argue the contest last week, but the week before our contest was strong, so it's probably a week-to-week thing. Opposition last week smashed us at contest and clearance, mainly in the second half, and so then that became a cost for us to lose territory. Then we got a bit stuck with our ball movement. So there's little things that we can just look at straight away and go, oh, we can fix that. The exciting thing with our group, we've got strong leaders that want to get better every day. So they're driving agendas around that. And then we have coaches that are hungry to improve. And so we put things in front of the group really quickly and say, hey, let's fix this, or let's focus on this and look for improvement.
Dan Houston, just with the 11 touches on the weekend, you've spoken about trying to get the ball more in his hands, but what levers can you pull in the last few weeks leading into finals?
Yeah, whether it's a positional one, I'm not sure, but we want the ball in his hands, and we, if you watch training today, he was significant in that. We went through him a lot, and there's some of that on him and us. Some way the game's played at times. If you're just playing straight down the line, kick it to our keys, he's not going to touch the ball much. So we got to look at little ways we can change that.
You set a really high standard at Port Adelaide, and you knew what you were getting when you went out and traded for him. So is it just taking him a little bit of time to acclimatise to the system, or is there something more that you guys can do as coaches?
It's subtle. It's really subtle, Drew. I think this, again, the way we move the ball, if it becomes boring to play and boring to watch, well, Dan's not going to touch it much. And then so we adjust that potentially, and then you got the other levers of where we play him in certain ways. We have a lot of high forward half game, and he's sort of sitting back a bit. Again, we saw little snippets of growth in the month prior, and I was excited for that. Yeah, let's judge at the full course. But I think Lockie Schultz is a great example. It takes a bit of time to adjust to our system. Oh, look, I'll leave that alone. I haven't, but I'll leave it alone. I think I've said enough. I'm pretty happy to be transparent in that situation, but leave it up to others now.
Is that in relation to once he's from Man City, get in touch with you about that? Or
No. I'm really comfortable to remain true to the coach I want to be, and for this footy club and how I represent our players and our staff and our and the way we want to continue to grow. So I'll stay there.
Where do things sit with just the balance between using Ned Long and Tom Mitchell? You used to look Tom Mitchell this week, and what do you think your best midfield balance is leading the final?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We're working it out. We are working it out, and some weeks we just feel like we're just going to be a high contest stoppage game, and we go, we might need some balls in there and high tackle numbers. And other weeks we think, we can get this team on transition, so let's pick a team according to that. So there's been a little bit of mixing and matching for that.
Josh went into the midfield again in the last quarter against Brisbane, like against Gold Coast. Do you think is that going to remain like a break glass in case of emergency thing, or do you use him to?
Oh, look, to be honest, I just sit on the bench going, come on, let's do more. I don't want to ever stand still. Come on, we're 3 goals down, let's do something else. Come on, what can we do? Let's get Josh in there, he'll give us a bit of a spark. We just don't want to just go to the line and go, they got us today, they're just too good. And rightly, they were too good on the day, but it's not from a lack of trying. And we'll continue to try things to make us better.
So just when you talk about just really with the Long and the Mitchell and horses for courses, are you looking to try and cement that mix leading into finals, or is there a world where you face Brisbane in a prelim, let's say, and you go, this is what we need for this week, let's switch it around? Like, is it going to be week to week?
Well, again, that's a bit of ladder predictor stuff. We don't know what the future holds, so until we're there, but we'll keep exploring what we think our best mix is at different times, and that could be flexibility for some players to play slightly different roles. It's hard to forecast the future, not well anyway.
Hawks played with 4 talls last week. I know they ended up subbing Couch third quarter. How does that affect your selection? How does it affect your build-up, your scouting of them?
Yeah, I think we'll concentrate on us, but have an awareness around what they're doing. We'll put some energy in what we think is our best look down back to. We're still the number 1 points against team in the competition, so we're doing a lot right in defence. So we'll just see what that looks like, and they've got a lot of smalls too that are pretty dangerous. We've got to make sure we get our tackles right this week.
Steel Cyber on this week?
Well, I got a shirt on for starters, and we've all got one of these. We want to celebrate the great man. There's not too often you have people in your environment that get to play 350 games for one club, and this young man has done huge things for our footy club. He's always smiling, he's always cheeky, he's always at his best, and still performing as arguably his best he's ever played. So we'll celebrate this afternoon with some past players coming in and the whole club getting in there to represent a guy, and ideally we go out and play like he does with a smile on our face, and then make all our fans nice and excited for that.
And before last night that he and Pendles and Jeremy Howe have agreed the terms for next year. How big's that for you as a coach to have that experience around?
Well, I'm rapt if that's the case. I leave that for others, but I know there was some discussions underway, and to think that we've got an environment where we've got guys like those 3 that you mentioned that would want to play on one and have the energy to play on says a lot about our environment. And then and still performing really well says a lot about how we set those young men up. So if that's true, I'll be the first to make sure I congratulate them. But I haven't heard that.
You've been hunted at the top of the table for the best part of 2 or 3 months, probably. Is there any switch of mindset? I know the ladder positions don't mean everything, but just a slight change that you're not there anymore. Oh
no, I think this group likes to chase things. I know that's real. There's a bit of the thrill of the chase. We've had that for years. Get 3 or 4 goals down. Okay, here we come. I know the leaders speak about that, but we just got to control our own narrative, really, and getting in the form that we know is going to represent and be hard for others to play against, and we don't feel that that's far away.
Any other confirmed changes for this week?
Not yet, mate. Not yet. We'll have match committee shortly, and I can confirm that Steele will be playing. And Harry Perryman will be playing his 150th game, which we'll celebrate as well. So.